The state government has claimed that the consultative meeting on Naga political issue held at Kohima on Thursday was historic and fruitful. Speaking to media persons after the meet, Minister for Planning and Coordination, Land Revenue, Parliamentary Affairs and Chairperson of Consultative Meet, Niba Kronu, and co-chairperson of the meet, Monlumo Kikon, said that the meeting held intensive and extensive deliberations over the Naga political issue and ongoing negotiations between the Government of India and Naga nationalist organizations. Kikon said it was a historic day and the meeting was fruitful. He said many prominent public leaders, intellectuals and others attended the meeting and shared their mind on the Naga political issue. He, however, clarified that the issue of separate flag and constitution was not discussed. Responding to queries of a division among political parties, Kronu claimed that after being assigned by Chief Minister Nipi Rio, he met NPF legislators and said the door was still open for them to work together. He added that the Chief Minister had even written a letter to NPF to come together, stating that it was the desire of PDA government to hammer out all issues.
Today was a historic day. It was a very fruitful consultative meeting, and for a very long time the Nagas have been worried and wondering about what the next step would be due to the political impasse in the political talks. So this is a way forward, and if you read the resolution, it would be very clear to you why the resolution is a historic resolution for the future of the Nagas. So we were a little taken aback that they had issued such a statement because our invitations were very clear and their name was already there. So before they could avail, if they had any doubts whether they would be allowed to speak or not, if they had any issues, they should have, as any responsible organization, taken up the matter with the government or the officials present at the consultative meeting.
Meanwhile, a 7-point resolution was adopted after a marathon 6-hour meeting of around 200 attendees representing various Apex Naga tribe Hohos, ex-parliamentarians, public leaders and civil society organizations convened by the state government at the newly constructed State Banquet Hall at the Chief Minister's residential complex on Thursday. A ticket distribution ceremony of BJP nominee Lirimong Sangtam was held at Kohima on Wednesday. In his address, State BJP President Temjan Imnalong said setting up the consensus candidate showed the magnanimous relationship within PDA partners to help the people of Nagaland. Acknowledging NDPP for supporting the BJP candidate, he said it was natural for the regional party to desire putting its own candidate and have its own elected member from the constituency. He asserted that workers of both the parties would work together to win the seat and assured BJP's full support to NDPP in 14 Southern Angami by-poll. Along further appeal to the party workers to ensure that the PDA consensus candidate emerged victorious.
I thank the PDA Alliance of NDPP leadership for being so magnanimous and coming up here to the BJP headquarters office and challenging us to be one, not only in spirit, but in works and in reality. I call upon all the rank and file of the BJP party in the whole state, starting from the state office bearers, all the morchas, all the cells, and every nook and corner, in whichever way it is possible, you have to contribute by your phone, by your deeds, by your finances, by whichever way you can to make the PDA candidature of Sri Lirimong Sangtam come out victoriously.
BJP candidate Lirimong thanked the party for allotting the ticket to him and assured to do his best to win the by-poll.
To give a trumpet story. However, I respect and appeal to each and every intending candidates to work together as a whole. I also appeal each and every rank and files of the body of the success of the body. Let's work together. That's my motto.
The NSF and the ENSF, which had temporarily suspended its indefinite steer following the demise of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Justice and Law Minister CM Chang, have resolved to continue the steer beginning 19th of October. In a joint directive, NSF President Ninoto Awami and ENSF President Sepili El Sangtam directed the federating units and subordinate bodies that the indefinite statewide ban on all NL10 and NL11 registered vehicles shall resume from 6 a.m. of 19th October. It has asked all unit leaders to put in place all necessary arrangements in order to ensure that the proposed agitation is strictly enforced in their respective jurisdictions. On Wednesday, the NSF and the ENSF called agitation on the ban of movement of government-registered vehicles passed off peacefully, and volunteers followed all COVID-19 SOPs. Altogether, 37 vehicles violating the ban were seized by NSF and ENSF activists all over the state during the day. NSF and ENSF had earlier stated that the seized vehicles would be released only when the demand for mainstreaming Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan teachers of 2010 and 2013 batches into state education cadre was met. The All Nagaland College Students Union ANGSU Saturday called off its indefinite digital protest after the state government notified setting up of a 3-member inquiry committee to look into the execution of works under the funding of AICTE NEQIP scheme 2013-14 in the Kheloshe Polytechnic Atoizu KPA. The scheme was funded by AICTE New Delhi for strengthening of institutions in terms of infrastructure, faculty, competence and quality of teaching, research and consultancy, improved learning outcomes and employability of students. The fund was received by the institute in installments during 2013-14 to 2015-16 of a total rupees 3,71,60,000. The amount was directly transferred to the beneficiary institute. The state government, in a notification issued by Chief Secretary J. Alam, informed that the committee would be headed by Kenilo Apong, Commissioner and Secretary, Water Resources Department, as chairman, with Peter Lichamo, Deputy Commissioner Zinaboto, and Lobizoto, Audit Officer, Treasuries and Accounts, as members. The committee has been directed to submit its report within 3 months from the date of issue of the notification. Meanwhile, the All Nagaland College Students Union, through its President Vimeya Kovitso and General Secretary Imnameran N. Jamir, has acknowledged the state government's action. ANGSU has, however, cautioned that failure to conclude an impartial inquiry report within the stipulated time would compel the union to resort to any intensive democratic protests. Earlier this week, All Nagaland College Students Union has claimed of sending 10 lakh mails to email accounts of top state government officials as part of its digital protests. A total of 7 houses in Zinoboto town have been demarcated as sealed area on Saturday following the detection of COVID-19 positive cases. An order from the Deputy Commissioner Zinoboto, Peter Lichamo, stated that these houses were sealed in order to contain the spread of the disease, infection and for necessary contact tracing. The order stated that all movement of vehicles, persons within the defined sealed area is strictly restricted, prohibited and under active surveillance with effect from the date of sealing. Till Saturday, Zinoboto has reported a total of 130 positive cases of COVID-19. While 120 persons have recovered, 3 have migrated. There are now 7 active cases in the district.